And today we are going to be looking at artificial intelligence in your curriculum and the tools that are currently available to you and things that you might be able to use in the classroom with your learners now. Some of them will be supportive of you as a teacher and some will support learning as well. As always, if you do have any questions or anything you'd like to ask following today's session, then my contact details are on the screen now, and you'll be able to access those at the end of today's session as well. So as I've already said, this is the fourth session of our series and the final session at present. So far over the 4 sessions, we have looked at artificial intelligence and what it is and introducing artificial intelligence to us in schools, some of the risks and benefits of using artificial intelligence and what that might look like in your school. The second session then focused on guidance and developing guidance for you in your school as well and making sure that you're using artificial intelligence both ethically, appropriately and safely as well. Our third session then looked at prompt craft and focused on how you as a teacher can get the most from artificial intelligence using particular methods. We looked at the prep machine, we looked at prompting machines effectively to get what you want from it at the end and how we can then iterate those prompts to get what we needed to. And we also looked at then some of the generative AI tools within Adobe Firefly as well. Today's session and the final session of the 4 will look at then the 2 following things on the screen. We're also going to look at teaching about AI and some of the resources that are out there, and also then tools that use AI, so tools that you might be able to use in the classroom as well. So lots to get through today, and we're going to get straight into having a look at teaching about AI. Now, just circling back to our session on guidance, and we looked at the 7 different principles of integrating artificial intelligence into our curriculum. One of the things that Teach AI talked about in Principle 3 was advancing academic integrity. And this is what they said on the screen, that we should use AI to adapt assignments and assessments and grading, including personal features like scaffolding, connections to personal or recent content, in-class presentation to demonstrate content learned. Is a huge amount of things that we can do with AI in our curriculum. So I just want us to circle back to that principle today when we're thinking about how do we now get artificial intelligence into our curriculum and making sure it's purposeful, it's authentic, and we're not just doing it because it looks fancy and it sounds great. Are we using it purposefully, and are we actually developing skills for our learners when using AI as part of the curriculum? So when I thought about AI and I thought about where does AI really fit into what we currently already have, and for me it fits into 3 places really, really well. It fits into citizenship as part of the DCF, thinking about the appropriate and ethical use of AI. It fits well into computational thinking, thinking about how AI is programmed and how machines learn. And it also fits in really well to computation as the foundation of our digital world within science and technology. That's statement of what matters 6, essentially computer science. So to start today, we're just going to explore how AI fits into those 3 different areas already within our curriculum. Then we'll look at some resources that are already out there in terms of teaching about AI in our curriculum as well. So AI and citizenship, how does this fit together? So I kind of had a little look through the strands within the citizenship area and thought about how does AI fit? And I think understanding AI and its implications is crucial. So how does this fit? Well, in terms of digital rights and responsibilities, students really need to learn about their rights and their responsibilities in the digital world, including how AI affects privacy, security, and ethical decision making. They should discuss the ethical use of AI, data privacy, and the impact of algorithms on individuals and society. And what we should really be doing at this point is encouraging critical thinking about AI biases and fairnesses. Then when we consider online safety and well-being, it's really important that students learn to recognize AI-generated content, such as things like deepfakes or chatbots, and they should really begin to understand the potential risks. We should also explore how misinformation spreads through AI-driven algorithms, and there's some great resources already in Hub around misinformation for teachers as well. And we should also think about teaching students to verify information and how they should be cautious online. Much of what we already do, but now starting to think more around how AI impacts on this. We should consider digital identity. Students should start grasping how AI systems analyze and predict behavior based on digital footprints. We should discuss the ethical implications of AI profiling and surveillance. And we should also start thinking about how we empower students to manage their digital identity responsibly. Again, much of what we already do as part of our citizenship curriculum, but starting to think about the impacts that AI will have on this. In terms of digital participation, students should now know how AI impacts participation in online communities. They should look at exploring AI-driven content creation, social media algorithms, and their influence on public discourse. And we should really encourage responsible participation in a digital space. When we consider digital literacy, what our learners need to know is to understand is AI concepts, the terminology, and the applications that use AI. We should be teaching critical evaluation of AI generated information. And if you remember in our previous session, the EDIT framework would be really useful for supporting learners with this. We should start discussing biases, transparency, and accountability in AI systems. So a number of ways in which AI and digital citizenship already cross over. Whilst it might not be written explicitly, we should start to be thinking about now how the citizenship strand and AI can have that tilt on it as well. Which leads us over then to AI and computational thinking. And I think this is a really, really important article to read. Computational thinking, written by Jeanette Wing, is all about computational thinking being a fundamental skill for everyone, not just in relationship to AI, but in relationship to critical thinking, to computer science, and a number of things. And Wing asserted in this article that computational thinking isn't just for computer scientists. To reading, writing, and arithmetic, we should now add computational thinking to every child's analytical ability. This article considers an impetus for computer science education in schools, and she continues to promote the need for computational thinking in every classroom. And I'll share this, this reading on the EAS website alongside this recording for you to have a look at. It's only a couple of pages, but it's a really insightful read about the importance of computational thinking. And what I really love about this article is basically she talks about computational thinking impacting our daily lives and how it isn't a concept that's limited to just teaching coding and programming. In many ways, this article asserts that computational thinking is critical thinking, and critical thinking is, of course, something that we all strive to teach. And I think just to highlight again the importance of computational thinking, really, and we think about computational thinking is the thought processes that one uses to formulate a problem and to express its solutions in such a way that a computer, human or machine, can effectively carry out. So for Wing, computational thinking is about the thought processes one goes through before even writing a code or creating an artifact, or in this case, thinking about how we interact with AI. In other words, she defines computational thinking as the thought processes that you use to formulate a problem and to express its solutions, as I've already explained. Now, when we consider what computational thinking really entails, the term computational thinking was first used in 1980 by a mathematician and computer scientist named Seymour Papert. Over time, scholars have broken computational thinking down into 4 universally recognized components, and we can see that these 4 components do come through in the digital competency framework. They broke it down into decomposition, so taking a big problem and making it smaller, pattern recognition, identifying patterns, abstraction, getting rid of the bits that we don't need, and algorithms or algorithmic thinking, it's sequencing and patterns again. Now, AI plays a significant role within computational thinking strands by enhancing problem solving, creativity, and understanding of algorithms. So let's explore then how AI aligns with each of these strands. In terms of decomposition, AI involves breaking down complex problems into smaller, manageable components. For instance, designing an AI chatbot involves decomposing tasks like natural language understanding, response generation, and error handling. When thinking of pattern recognition, AI models excel at recognizing patterns in data. Machine learning algorithms learn from examples and identify patterns such as image recognition or predicting things such as stock market trends, changes in the house market, and so on. When we consider abstraction, AI abstracts away low-level details, allowing focus on high-level concepts. For example, neural networks, as we explored in the first session, abstract the intricacies of feature extraction in image recognition. And when considering algorithmic design, AI algorithms are essentially at the heart of machine learning and deep learning. Creating efficient algorithms for tasks like recommendation systems or reinforcing learning is absolutely essential. And then finally, AI and computer science, or statement of what matters 6, computation is the foundation of our digital world. And I think this this graphic here shared by the Teach AI team is really, really important. It talks about in the age of artificial intelligence, computer science isn't just mandatory, it's foundational, and every child needs to have an understanding of those concepts there: AI, robotics, cybersecurity, and data science. Now, the statement computation is the foundation for our digital world holds significant relevance across the progression steps in the science and technology area of Curriculum for Wales. So how does that align? Well, at progression step 1, we might be looking at sort of curiosity and exploration of AI. Learners begin by sort of identifying sequences, patterns, and everyday activities. They experiment with computing technology around them, laying the groundwork for understanding computation's role in our digital world. So at this stage, learners should essentially be encountering basic computational concepts, such as following instructions and recognizing patterns. At this stage, we're not really going to go into teaching exactly around how AI works and what that looks like. At progression step 2, we might start to develop a bit more around algorithmic thinking, and learners should start using tools and materials to construct and create their own algorithms. They could and should be engaging in unplugged or offline computational thinking activities, creating simple algorithms and understanding their purpose. So here, learners begin to delve deeper into computational processes, understanding how algorithms process data. They begin to grasp the limitations of computers and the impact of reliable data on outcomes. As we move to progression step 3, we might start to consider more around control and decision making. And this is where learners will use conditional statements and loops to enhance their algorithms. They explore sensors and actuators, gathering and processing data from the environment. Understanding positive and negative design elements becomes crucial at this point, and making sure that we secure technology and protect our data integrity. Now, essentially, at this stage, computational processes empower learners to control and shape interactions, emphasizing the interconnectedness of digital devices. And it might be at this stage that you start to introduce AI within your curriculum in terms of how it works, and we start thinking about some of the ethical implications that go alongside it. At progression step 4, learners start to consider valid conclusions and data handling. They should research, devise, and evaluate algorithms, draw valid conclusions based on their findings, and think about data storage and processing and how that becomes essential, along with effective data manipulation. Computational skills at this level enable learners to analyze data and draw meaningful insights, bridging theory and practice together. And as we move to progression step 5, they should really be using the computational and computer science skills to complete rigorous investigation and justification. They should be linking their experimental findings to theoretical knowledge, emphasizing critical evaluation of data quality. So at this point, the computational foundations support learners in making informed decisions, considering the impact of technology globally. And across that continuum of computer science, teaching about AI, algorithms, decisions, and learning is really, really fundamental for children understanding how AI and AI tools actually work. So let's move on to then some AI curriculum resources. Now, there are limited resources out there at the moment in terms of what is available for curriculum, but there are some out there from code.org and some other partners that are quite useful in terms of teaching learners all about AI. So the first one to share with you is the website at the top of the screen there, and I'll pop that into the chat for you in a second to have a little look at. And that's on the code.org website, and there is a section there on AI curricula. Now, within that website, what learners can do is they can play a number of games that help them to understand how AI systems learn about data and how they use that data to create new ideas and thoughts and sources as well. So a really useful website aimed for some of your younger learners, potentially from progression step 3 onwards, to teach them a little bit more around how AI systems and large language models really work. The second resource that is really, really useful comes from our partners, Common Sense Education. As you all know, and as you should know, on the Hub website, there is a plethora of resources around online safety and digital citizenship that can be accessed through the Keeping Safe Online portal. These resources are not yet in that portal, but can be accessed using the link at the top there. And I'll pop, again, all the links into the chat in a second when we get a break. But on here, they have AI literacy lessons from sort of year 5 and 6 onwards. Now, there are 8 lessons, and you wouldn't have to teach them all in each year group, but it might be worth discussing with your cluster where and when each of these lessons are taught, and where you are going to introduce the teaching of AI and AI literacy into your curriculum as well. The third resource comes from Microsoft. Microsoft have put together a number of sessions in their Digital Future program, all around AI, and these are more aimed at progression step 4 and 5. And there are a number of resources on that website to have a look at around the use of AI in the curriculum and how it links across to some of the statements within computer science as well. The great thing about this resource as well is it does show you on the right-hand side of the resource a link to Curriculum for Wales and how that fits into Statement of What Matters 6. So there's a few resources there that would be quite useful to you. I'll pop some of those in the chat in a second, but just a couple more that might also be of benefit. AI4Education.io have a couple of lessons here on interviewing a chatbot, the mind of a machine, the hallucination detective, and co-creating an AI policy with your learners. Again, some really good resources around teaching and learning in the classroom. I suppose a little bit of a caveat to this one is this is a very American resource, so please do use this, but also try and adapt that to make sure it fits the needs of your curriculum and your context in your school as well. And finally, the final resource that is available and out there, and this will require a free sign up, is the dayofai.org. And there's a huge curriculum here that goes from sort of kindergarten all the way through to what I can't remember, grade 5. So as you can see there, from ages 5 to 10, and it covers the following things. So what can AI do? Teachable machines, AI and social media. Can machines be creative? Game AI, and then some more of the data things as well. And what this graph does show is, so obviously to the left-hand side, the earlier years, and as that moves through then to some of the more complex and challenging topics and themes later on. So what I'll do, if you just give me 2 seconds, is I'll pop these links into the chat for you, and then you will you can have a little look at them in your own time as well. So they're in the chat for you now, and feel free to have a look at those as we move through the remainder of the session. So there are, again, some resources and stuff around teaching AI and implicating AI within your curriculum. But now we're going to move on to looking at some of the tools that you can use within your classrooms. Again, a caveat for this one, as we spoke about in session 2, before using an AI tool that is not within the Hub ecosystem, it is extremely important that you check with your local authority data protection team to make sure that the tool you are using is not sharing data externally when it should be. Okay, so please, please, please make sure that before you go in and see, there's lots of people online at the moment sharing some great resources and great tools. Please make sure that they're safe, the data is safe, and it's secure before you go on and use that and share your data with it. But what I'm going to share with you today is, I could have shown lots of different things, but I'm going to start just focusing on these 3 tools. And the plan is into the next academic year, we'll do some more sessions on tools that are available. But today I'm going to focus on 3 different softwares that are using AI to support teaching and learning in the classroom, and they're doing it really well and really powerfully too. So we're going to start off by looking at Microsoft and some of the learning accelerators. We'll then have a look at Google and have a look at some of the AI tools within practice sets. And then finally, then we'll have a little look at quizzes and the AI tools within quizzes that can support assessment and assessment for learning in the classroom as well. So to start off with then, we're going to start with some of the Microsoft Learning Accelerators. And again, a big thank you to the Microsoft team for putting these slides together. But essentially, there are a number of learning accelerators that are available to you within the Teamspace in Hub. So Learning Accelerators is essentially a new category of learning tool included within the Hub platform. Now, they are designed to help you as educators unlock the full potential of every student with tools that support foundational and future-ready skills, allowing educators like yourselves to give learners more opportunities to learn, to practice, and to receive targeted coaching instantly in an inclusive environment to support ongoing improvement. So as you can see here, there are sort of 6 different learning accelerators. We're going to have a look at reading and math and speaker and search coach as part of today's session. So most learning accelerators will have a progress and a coach component. Now the progress tools are educator-led. So these tools allow educators like yourselves to quickly create and review practice assignments. Coach tools provide real-time coaching and feedback to students based on the practice assignment they have just completed. Now, data from the Learning Accelerator tools can be viewed using the education insights within Teams for a more holistic view of each student as the individual, class, and the school level as well. So let's start off then with reading progress and reading coach. So the idea around reading progress and reading coach is to improve student fluency, accuracy and comprehension through reading practice and educator insights. And the data that Microsoft collected suggests that students are 19% more likely to graduate high school if they are proficient readers by the 3rd grade, so around year 3 and 4. So what does reading progress actually do? So reading progress, as a student, in terms of the student experience, learners will be given a passage to read. They will read through that passage, and at the end of the passage, they will be given a set of words that they struggled to read. Now, when they click on to each of these words, they will then be able to take that word and listen to it. They'll be able to break the word down into its syllables, and they'll also be able to see a picture cue to go alongside that word as well. Now, once they're happy they've practiced that word again, they can click on the word, they can try reading it, and the AI and systems then will pick up whether or not they have managed to successfully read that word, and they will move them on to the next one. Now, as a teacher, after you've set that passage of reading in assignments in Teams, you will then be provided with an overview that looks something like this. Now, this overview will give you a number of words per minute that the child has been able to read. It will give you their accuracy rate, but it will also then break it down into these categories here. So mispronunciations, omissions, self-corrections, insertions, and repetitions. Now, what you can also do on the left-hand side is you can click on the play button here. You can listen back to, in this case, Crystal reading. And if the AI hasn't picked up any of the mispronunciations, you can simply right-click on one of these words and change the highlighting for yourself. Now, there's a number of AI tools already built in here, one of them being noise suppression, and you can turn that on the left-hand side by here, by turning on pronunciation sensitivity, and then playing around with the features here. Now that's a really, really useful tool to have in the classroom, potentially when you've got 30 children trying to read as well, or smaller groups. The AI in there will work on that to make sure it picks up on the child that is reading as well. Now, in reading progress, we now also have the ability to generate a targeted reading passage based on how the class is doing, and also will allow the educator to tailor the subject, the age, and other variables as well, all using AI. And to do that, you can click on this section in the middle here that says Generate Custom Passage. Now, once you've clicked on Generate Custom Passage, you can then choose the topic that you would like your video to be on, your reading to be on, the length of words you'd like that passage to be, and you can select from multiple languages. You can also toggle on and off a number of challenging words, and the AI will then generate a passage based on that. As you can see then at the bottom, you can increase the complexity, and if you're happy, you can click Use, and that text has been generated for you there. So now you've got an AI generated passage that you can send out to learners, and they can go through that process of reading through that text based on what you've created. We can also now generate reading comprehension questions for any passage. It's in private preview at the moment, but they're looking to roll that out as well. So again, based on the passage that you've created, you can generate a number of questions by filling in the different toggles here. So we click on Generate Questions, tell it how many questions you would like, and then what it will do is it will generate a set of questions based on the text that you have in there. Again, all built into Microsoft Teams, all built into the assignments feature, and again, personalized learning for each of your learners. And I think that's the key thing here. We spoke about some of the benefits of AI earlier on in the session, and what the experts are saying is personalized, highly engaging, consistent practice is the most effective approach for closing learning gaps. And the reading progress tools and the reading coach tools available in Teams are really powerful at doing this. Now, Reading Coach, I think this is the video, is going to just talk to you a little bit more about how this can be used. Oh, no, it's not. So Reading Coach, apologies, is now available in a private preview again. You can go to coach.microsoft.com. So I'll just pop that in the chat for you a second, coach.microsoft.com. And this can be used by yourself at school or learners at home. And essentially, again, this uses AI to generate reading passages based on the children's choices. So I use this for my little girl. She's only 5. We chose a character, a setting, and the type of story that they would like, and it generated a passage then based on her choices that she would like to read. So let's have a little look of what that looks like. So here we go. This is what it looks like when you log in. You can click create a story using AI. At this point then you can select a character for your story. So in this case, we're going to select a dog. We can then choose a location. So let's go for space. And then we can choose a number of reading levels here. Now, when I click on that choose level 3, it will then generate a story and put me into Immersive Reader. Now, for those of you who haven't used Immersive Reader before, there's a huge amount of features in here. The ability to change the size of the text, the color of the backgrounds, and also the font as well. Curious. And you also have the picture dictionary available on each of the words. Once I click Start Reading, it gives me a countdown.
Lobo the dog was always curious about the world beyond his backyard.
So I can read through then that text, and then what it will do is it will give me a number of practice words and things that I might want to focus on. So it gives me how long it took to read, and this then shows you an example of what I was talking about earlier. So I can break the word down into syllables. Colorful. I can listen to the word, and then I can practice the word. If I'm successful, it will ping up green, and then I can choose then to go on to the next chapter if I'd like to, or if I wanted to, I could finish reading and see the results of my reading assessments. So a really, really good opportunity for your learners to create something personal to them based on their interests and to get real-time personalized feedback as they go through. The more they read, they then begin to unlock little things, and you can see then it provides them with a dashboard of the information that they generated from their reading. So how long it took them, their accuracy, their achievements, and some words to practice. They can also go back into their history and look at text that they've created before, or you can select then from the Microsoft back catalogue of their own texts. And finally, you can also paste in your own text too. So this can be used in a number of different ways to provide a personalized experience to your learners to develop reading using the AI tools available to them. And I think that's really important to note is AI isn't just about creating new things, it's about using these personalized learning tools to support learners at their level, to challenge them and to engage them in their learning as well. So Coach is available using the web link that I've placed into the chat, so coach.microsoft.com, and it will also be available as a downloadable app onto Windows from February, it says. And I will have to speak to the Hub team about how this is going to look for schools as well, but a really useful tool for you to have a look at and play around with as well. So the next learning accelerator we're going to look at is Search, Progress and Coach. And Search, Progress and Coach is basically an easier way to build information literacy skills with real-time guidance in a secure and inclusive online search environment. Now, we know as teachers and educators that finding, consuming and sharing trusted information is an important skill to develop. It's an important skill to develop students into informed citizens. And we talk a lot about that within the digital competency framework within citizenship, but also within the sourcing, searching and planning aspects as well. An OECD study found that fewer than 1 in 10 students in grade 7 or higher can distinguish between fact and opinion, which is really important, particularly in a world now where, like we said, things like chatbots and deepfake AI videos are going to really influence the way that our learners interact with the world moving forward. So Search, Progress and Search Coach are free tools built into Teams for education that empower students to think critically and search with confidence. These tools provide real-time coaching to students on how to form effective queries and identify and review reliable sources in a secure, ad-free online search environment, whilst providing you as an educator insights on how students are searching to differentiate your instruction. So the students here will have this view. You can set this up in assignments in Teams as well, and we'll create some videos to show you how to do this. But essentially, children can search within Teams now using the Bing search engine to find different things. And then as an educator, you then get a little bit of feedback on the research and the search they've done. So how many searches did they do? How many sources did they save? And how many different links did they open? So a really nice opportunity to develop those skills of searching effectively and researching effectively also. Now, Speaker Progress and Speaker Coach, again, another learning accelerator that's all about developing confident presenters with tools that help reduce student anxiety and provide real-time coaching. Now, public speaking is the #1 human fear, and there is a big gap between what businesses need and the current skills of learners coming into it. So Speaker Progress and Speaker Coach has been developed to develop those confident, skilled presenters, helping them to provide that relaxed atmosphere when doing so. Again, these are free tools built into Microsoft 365 that can help improve presentation skills, gain confidence with tools, and also allow students to practice in private. Now, this again can be set up using assignments in Teams. And when selecting your type of assignment or your learning accelerator, you can select Speaker Progress. What you'll then do is create your assignment. You can turn on then the different types of settings on the right-hand side. And you can also then identify which skills you want the learners to work on. So you can get them to work on pace in their presentations, the pronunciation, things like pitch, speech refinements, and so on, all things that can be toggled on and off using the toolbar here on the right-hand side. As a learner then, what they will do is essentially have a front-facing camera. They'll have their presentation or their speech in front of them. They can read through that speech. And when they finish their speech, they'll be presented then with a report based on how well they did. So what did they do well? How well did they pronounce their words? What was their body language like? And then some opportunities for moving their speech forward so that they become more confident. They will also get, as they're reading, real-time feedback from the tool, giving them tips and prompts on what they need to do in terms of varying their tone, making it more exciting, to slow down, to speed up, and so on. Now, as an educator, you get a similar review, so you'll get the same sort of feedback as well, and you'll be able then to provide some feedback in written form or also by recording a video message as well. Now, within the Insights tool, you will be able to see the number of filler words that were used, any sensitive phrases that we use, repetitive language, and it will give you a real breakdown on the words that they've used within their speaker progress reports as well. Now, Math Progress and Math Coach has been developed to help students solve complex math problems, more so probably in Key Stage 3 and 4 or Progression Step 4 and 5. And this is all about helping learners to understand mathematical concepts. Now, what they can do in here is basically solve mathematic problems using Math Coach or Math Progress by using the whiteboard tools or uploading pictures of their work, and the AI then will help it to understand where it's made mistakes and how it can move it forward. It will auto grade the work for you as well, so you'll spend less time on individualized feedback and less time marking, and it will also help then by putting all common mistakes into categories, so you then know how to inform your practice moving forward. And you can see then it gives you kind of a breakdown as a teacher of the score of your class and then the misconceptions that you might want to focus on when moving forward in your teaching as well. So this is a fairly new tool, and if you want to join the community to support the development of this tool and to learn more, then you can scan that QR code on the screen there, and you can see that at the moment they're working on developing these features on the left-hand side so that they can be used directly within the tool as well. So a huge amount of learning accelerators available in the Microsoft platform. I would highly recommend you having a look at those, and we will provide some bespoke training in the next academic year on how to use each of those learning accelerators within the classroom. So I'm just going to touch on some of the things within Google Classroom and the use of practice sets. Some of you may or may not be familiar with practice sets. I'm going to show you a short video now of how practice sets can be used in the classroom. And then we'll have a further demonstration on how this can be used in the next digital network meeting, which I believe is in May. So just a quick overview of Google Classroom practice sets and what that looks like.
Learning is personal. Students stay more engaged and learn more effectively when they get feedback right away. But one-on-one help for each student isn't always possible with the learning tools that exist today. For educators, having a round-the-clock tutor for each student that could help them grade classwork and give insights into student comprehension would be ideal. That's why we're creating a new tool in Google Classroom called Practice Sets, which enables educators to create interactive assignments from their existing content or from scratch. Students can get help as they answer questions, and teachers can get automated insights to know where students are getting stuck. Let's take a look at how it works. Once teachers create practice sets using existing content or by writing their own questions, our adaptive learning technology identifies the relevant learning skills for each question and finds relevant hints and resources that will be available for students if they need help. With all the typical question types like multiple choice and short answer, practice sets also have a built-in math keyboard and use our adaptive learning technology to enable equivalent answers for robust auto-grading. Teachers assign practice sets in Google Classroom like any other assignment. Students open practice sets right from an assignment in Google Classroom. As they work, auto-grading lets them know right away if their solution is correct, which helps build confidence, keeps them engaged, and prevents one misunderstanding from impacting the entire set. If they don't get a question on the first try, built-in hints help them along. When a student is unsure of where to start, they can open a resources section, which provides recommended videos and concept cards for each learning skill. Additional features include designated space to show their work, allowing them to demonstrate understanding while giving their teacher visibility into their thinking. For assignments created with practice sets, you will have enhanced features in the Classroom Grader view. Teachers get a quick view of class performance and can see student work for every attempt they make per problem. Automated insights reveal class-wide trends, so teachers gain visibility and can adjust their teaching plan if many students struggle with the same question or concept. With practice sets, students get the help they need faster, and teachers get actionable insights about their class. We understand that no two learning journeys are the same, so we're building tools that work for you.
So just a brief overview there of what practice sets is and what it can do. It's a really, really powerful tool. What I will say is the little caveat to that is an additional license for your School for Hub, but you only need to pay for teacher licenses, not for pupil licenses. And I can't remember the price off the top of my head, but it's not too pricey for each of your teachers, but it will give you a huge amount of resource to be able to do assessment with, to be able to provide personalized learning, to be able to get a point or an opportunity for learners to work through at their own pace, and to be provided with resources and support that go alongside the questions that you're asking as well. They've also developed a feature that wasn't shown in that video now, where you can upload YouTube videos, and throughout those YouTube videos, you can stop the video at certain points and add questions in as well, so you can assess children's understanding of the video that they've watched and the learning that they're going through as well in that process. But if you'd like to find out a little bit more about practice sets, then please do join us for our next network meeting, which is on Thursday, the 21st of May from 2 p.m. until 4 p.m. And that link will be accessible via the EAS Digital Network team space. So a really good opportunity to come and see that working in a lot more detail, a good hour's session on how that can support teaching and learning in the classroom as well. So the final little tool we want to have a look at is Quizizz. And Quizizz for me is one of my favourite tools out there in terms of assessment for learning and checking understanding as we go through. A huge amount of resources. 21st or 23rd of May. It's the Tuesday, I believe. I don't know why I put the Thursday. Thank you for picking that up. Tuesday, 21st of May, not Thursday. Thank you very much. So Quizizz. Okay, so let's have a little overview of what Quizizz is and what it can do. So just a quick overview there of the Quizizz platform, but essentially Quizizz is all about creating content using the AI tools that you currently have. You can create quizzes, homework and assignments using the tools in there, and you can make it a lot more engaging and exciting than some of the tools that are available in sort of Forms and Forms in Microsoft and Google as well. So over the next couple of slides, we're just going to have a look at the 5 top ways you could create resources with Quizizz AI. So the first cool thing is that you can turn any website into a quiz in one click. So you can take a YouTube video or you could take a website, and you essentially, using the Chrome extension, can take that and turn that into a quiz based on the video or the website that you presented it, which I think again is really, really good. If you're asking learners to research different ideas, you can turn that research into questions, comprehension questions, interactive video questions, and multiple choice questions as well. So again, you can create that quiz from a YouTube video. So take that YouTube video there and turn that into an interactive video quiz, which you can see at the top. So as it's going through, it's stopping at particular points. It's giving children multiple choice questions and it's asking them to move on. or you can do it in a more traditional way at the bottom. You can get them to view that video all the way through, and then they can just have questions at the end of that video around the different topics and themes within it. We can also take then some of your curriculum resources, such as images, and you can then turn them from worksheets, question banks, and textbooks into instant activities. So as you can see here on the left-hand side, they've uploaded sort of an unscramble the word task. And on the right-hand side then, that has then turned that into a worksheet. It's identified the questions and the answers for you, and that can now be pushed out to your learners for more engaging, interactive content. You can also take PDFs and turn them directly into quizzes as well. So again, on the left-hand side, a PDF around whales wearing hats made of seaweed, which I'd never seen before. And that then turned into a multi-part comprehension quiz on the right-hand side, or a fun quiz based on the bottom as well. So a huge amount of things to do. And then finally, you can also take a quiz that you've created, or a slideshow or presentation that you've created in Google Slides. And you can take those slides again and turn that into a multi-part comprehension quiz or fun quiz as well. So a huge amount of things you can do with content that you've already got created for you. Now you can also take that content and you can adapt it for every learner in your classroom. And you can do that in a number of different ways. You can translate it to a number of languages. You can customize it with a prompt. You can reduce the amount of responses that you have to choose from. So you can take one quiz and you can adapt it in multiple ways so that all learners in the classroom can access. So as you can see here, there's plenty of things you can do with the AI Enhance button to support every student. So you can add similar questions. You can actually get it to go through and fix any grammatical or spelling errors. You can translate it to another language. But some of the other things that you can do, which I think are really exciting, is you can also make it sound like someone else as well. So you might have seen in the video that they got them to write the question in the format of William Shakespeare. So they will change the question style then into something that sounds like it's been written by him. You can make things more engaging with a number of different things. And this is just a short overview of what tools are available within quizzes, but it's something I would highly recommend you take a look at if you're looking at sort of upping the ante in terms of assessment in the classroom, making it more exciting, but using the AI tools available within it to make it an engaging experience, whilst providing you with useful insight around the learning that's taking place in your classroom. So there are three kind of quick overviews of some of the tools that are available. There are hundreds, if not thousands more different websites and apps and tools available on the internet that are available, but please do proceed with caution when using those. The ones that I've shown you today are within the Hub platform, or do not share any data in a way that's unsafe. So if you are going to look at any AI tools, please check with your service provider, be that Caerphilly IT or SRS, or with your local authority GDPR data protection teams to ensure that the app is safe to use with your learners. Now that does take us to the end of our 4 sessions around the use of AI, and these are just a starting point. We'll expand on this more into the summer term and into the next academic year. But hopefully over the previous 4 sessions, it's given you now a bit more of an insight into what AI could look like within your school, some tools that are available to you as teachers to begin using AI to support your role, and today looking at some tools where AI is available to look at how that can fit and feature within your curriculum. So if I could ask you now just to take 2 minutes to provide an evaluation to this session, please.